ladies, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the Week 8 predictions. But now that we are past the halfway point in the season, very important, very important that we catch up to the playoff race. You know, it's all about the playoff race now, and there's a newcomer in town, Sal. He wasn't here last season, so we got some repeating to do. All right, it's playoff time. I thought we'd kick it off right. I ain't gonna spam the clip as much as I did last season, but I thought since Sal's here now, I thought I'd play the clip and get the juices flowing. So let me play the clip real quick.
PK, the absolute maestros of a battle of endurance. Radiance, we thought they were going to win it. 3 Phoenixes down for 5 full minutes. PK, they're not going to make it easy for anyone. The defending world champions want another ring.
My goodness, is this PK team resilient? You are not beating them easily. They will not go quietly. You must come correct, or you must not come at all. What a...
And that's it. This screen, right here.
They will not go quietly. You must come correct, or you must not.
This is the attitude you gotta have. Hold on. This is the attitude you gotta have for all your games, but especially the second half and going into playoffs. You must come correct, or you must not come at all. R.I.P. the Goat Finch. Miss him every day. Time to get some music on, man. All right. Where is this? So we got a few things to talk about today of sorts. Now that Week 7 is officially over, Tabs and Tabs and Josh played last night. This is officially the playoff bracket, if we were to start right now. Obviously, the mid-season video will be coming out. It got pretty scuffed with the recording for whatever reason. OBS decided to change my settings. But this is the bracket for playoffs as of right now. The 2 seeds that are very up in the air are the 7 and 8, Josh and Chris. Noah and Woo are sort of behind, but Noah more so. And Josh is in competition with Chase, I believe, at the moment. Yeah, Chase is really the only one close to Josh. So yeah. This is the bracket as of now. Obviously, each week I will update it according to everything, but as of right now, if playoffs were to start today, this is who the teams would be making it. So yeah. But anyway, let's get into predictions. I could probably talk. I'm just gonna talk about what I want to talk about in this video. So yeah, let's get down the line here. Do I have the Google Doc ready for this? Probably not. And by probably, I mean definitely not. All right. Week 8, let's go. Me versus Preston. That was 2. You played already, so that was a 2-0. I should really be doing these things before I record, and I know that. But I also don't care enough. Versus Manchester. And then it's what? Let's see, Slitherwing. what is Croc? The tour. Last minute line news versus and then we have Raylu Bambinos versus the Pawniards. Alright, let's get into the video now, shall we? Alright, me versus Preston. Kind of went how was expected. Last second, he did trade Cortana for Absol, which was legal. There's a lot of trades. I'll get into that at the end, but Absol is definitely scary for my team. If he got off like 1 SD, I mean, mega Absol things, but yeah. Pretty much went how it went last time. Gardevoir just came in on one of his walls, set up a shit ton of calm mines, and like swept his team. This time didn't get the full sweep, only killed 3, but basically hit him in a spot where he just couldn't do anything. So yeah, we like that. Yeah, good game to Preston. Last week came off a pretty big win against B, but this is a pretty tough game for him. But genuinely, I think if he trades Scoville and Ninjask away, or literally anything, I think his team becomes a lot better. I think those two are just super goofy and not good. I think if he trades those away, I think we'll be fine. Next up, we have JC versus Noah. Now, this is Noah's new team. His trades went in after Monday, so these trades... This is not his team. Imagine his old team with, like, Annihilate and Galvantula and all that. Last time they played, I believe it was a close game, but I think JC 2-0'd him regardless. Oh god, this is week 2. That was a long time ago. That was like 2 months ago. Where's the schedule at? Oh, they went to a game 3. Wow. Okay, so it's closer than I thought. And this is what was brought. Yeah, I think this is a game where Crook like destroyed Noah's team. Alright. So, I mean, these are the mods they brought. JC brought Zoroark for the first 4 weeks, and then he just, like, dead-ass stopped bringing it, so I don't think we will see Zoroark again, but... Actually, no, you have to bring Zoroark because of the Annihilate. Zoroark is too good into Annihilate to not bring, so I think JC will probably keep Zoroark for this game, then probably drop it, because he's just not been using it. So Annihilate, definitely rough there. But in general... I think Noah can beat JC. I think it's a very close game. Obviously this is his last week with his old team, so like I'm trying to like think. Because like a Calm Mind Lottie can actually be pretty evil here. Because like Crook needs 2 dark moves. Because it needs to knock off probably a minute. Also, it probably needs not knock off like a crunch hit Lottie. Even because like without, if you're just clicking knockoff, like it's still gonna do a lot, but a lot less in damage, obviously, than crunch would do. I don't know. I think this is very winnable from Noah, but just based off last time, I guess I'll give it to JC 2-1. But this is going to be a very good game again. This can be a very good game. B versus Chris. So B's trades are legal. Chris's are... All of Chris... So all their trades are legal except for this. This Salazzle right here, imagine that this is Entei. But me and B did some scrims last night. Obviously I can't say what... Hold on, let me grab a pair of pants real quick. God, I'd be getting cold in here with this fucking AC on, bro. God damn. But anyway, like I was saying, I did some scrims with B last night, so obviously I can't say all too much, but I think matchup-wise, I think this is very in Chris's favor. Maybe, I mean, last time they played it was pretty close. Went to game 3 that was pretty decently close, but I think, I mean, maybe it was just the way I was playing, maybe it was the way B was playing, maybe it was just the matchup, but I see no world where B wins unless Chris lets Urshifu just do Urshifu things. I do not think this is going to a game 3 this time. I think this will be a 2-0. I can see B winning this, but I just think B's team is completely out of trades. He's already used up all of his trades. The only thing he has left is a Terra Captain trade, and if he trades away Urshifu, he's throwing his brains out. So his team is locked for the rest of the season. This is B's team. This is it. And fundamentally, his team is just super flawed. By super flawed, I don't mean, like, I say it in a way where it's like, it's tough. Because, like, he has really good offense. Like, he has Torn, Raikou, Urshifu, obviously, and Altaria. But, like, Torn has been doing okay. He hasn't used Arm ever, so, like, we'll see if he brings Raikou to these games. But, like, even Altaria, like, it's just not doing anything. Like, I don't mean to expose little bro, but nothing on his team is double-digit kills but Urshifu. Everything else on his team is negative. Except for Torn. It's even. Like, B is getting carried by Urshifu is what I'm saying. Obviously, his whole team is positioned around Urshifu. I understand that, but if Urshifu is dead or can't kill something, B loses. And Chris has a Galarian Weezing and a Klefki that can shut it down pretty easily. I say pretty easily, but it still has ways around it. But yeah, that's besides the point. Yeah, if the scrims me and B did last night are any indication, this will not be close. Not at all. Next up, we have Wu versus Nick. This was a game 3, right? Yeah, this is a lot closer than I think people are expecting. So, I don't know how to feel. Because obviously, just gut reaction, I say 2-0 Wu. But Nick beat Noah in a pretty crazy game. Got pretty lucky game 2, but game 3 really locked it down. And Nick has been, like, getting, like, sneakily better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's sneaking up on us. We're not really paying attention to it all that much. But he's been getting there. I just find it really hard for Wu not to win this. I mean, Darm just goes crazy into this team. Wo-Chen Jolteon can shut down the Milotic. And Darm just kills everything. So, yeah. I mean, maybe a little disrespectful to Nick, especially with how he's been playing, but I think this is another 2-0. I think Wu, he got the information he needed last time he played Nick. And I think he can adjust and make Darm's life a little bit easier this time around. Next up, we have Tanner versus Biff. Last time they played, I was very harsh on Biff and probably not giving Tanner the credit he deserved. Basically just saying Biff was throwing. But the Biff has a new fancy toy, and that is a Terra Chi-Yu. Tanner has some new toys as well. Yeah, he had Shandy last time they played, I believe, but now he has Scizor. How much does Scizor change this? Well, Scizor actually changes matchups quite a bit, because the last time they played, like, Noggin and Dell was, like, the biggest issue for Biff. Now, obviously, Noggin and Dell is no longer here. And I think the Scizor actually is better for Biff, because you have Dondozo and Bronzong that just hard wall it. So I actually like Biff's matchup a lot better this time around. And if he can get webs up for Darkrai, this is a very scary game for Tanner. I'm actually going to give it to Biff. Oh god, I messed it up. Is Tanner versus Biff? It is. Okay. Oopsie daisy. One fake 100. Listen, it's not often I root for Biff, but I'm gonna root for him this time, man. I mean, I was a big believer in him going into this season, and you know, but I think this is this matchup is a lot better for him than it was last time, and that's because there's no Noggin Adele. Obviously, Tanner can switch things up, change it a bit, but I think with Chi-Yu, very scary for a Mega Scizor, and in general, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I'm not gonna say Tanner's gonna get 2-0'd. I mean, Tanner will still probably end up winning this set in all seriousness, but I think there's a real chance Biff can take this. I really do. I think he has things that can wall the Scizor, and no Noggin Adele to worry about this time. And under webs, I mean, Chi-Yu just go crazy. I mean, that Terra Grass Shandy ain't gonna be eating some Terra Dark pulses, if you know what I'm saying. So, I like Biff's matchup here a lot. We'll see if Slacking returns, because last time they played, Tanner got fucking rolled by it. So, we'll see. We'll see. Next up, we have Josh versus Croc. Last time they played, I'm not sure if Croc had the Houndoom or not. Let's find out. Alright, well, we don't know. I don't see... Okay, so we do know because he's a Zoom Roll. So last time they played this, that was Croc's old team. Okay, and I just closed out the weekly predictions. Alright. So last time they played it was Croc's old team, and Croc probably should have taken it to a game 3, but he just got destroyed by paralysis. So we'll see what Croc can make here, adjustment-wise. Maybe he brings like a Heliolisk just to immune some of the T-Waves and shit, some of the status. I don't know. But I'll give it to Josh. I'll say 2-1 just because I do think that Croc can take this to 3. Croc's been playing a lot better recently. He's kind of getting back into the swing of things. 2 wins back-to-back against Biff and Chase, which are 2 pretty big wins for him. So I think this is a very good game for Croc to see, really limit test Croc. You know, he beat Biff, which is like, you know, Biff's been struggling a bit. He beat Chase, which Chase is having a pretty good season so far. So if he can beat Josh, Croc's starting to get into that playoff race a bit. So this is a pretty big game for Croc. Get another win would be big. Yeah. Next up, we have Chase versus the Dog Mnez. Is Roserade allowed? It is. Okay. So, Mnez actually has Roserade for this. And last time they played, Mnez sort of tossed game 2 if I remember correctly. He could have won, but he made like a weird switch and then Chase won, but then game 1 and 3 just weren't close at all. I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like, Lantern probably comes because it can stop Manectric. I don't know, bro. I mean, last time they played, Chase just got destroyed by Volcanion. We'll see. The double electric can help mitigate that a bit, but just based off last time, I mean, this is probably a 2 for Mnez. I mean, Chase had a pretty not good showing against Croc last week. the last time they played. I mean, Chase made it close, to be fair, in game 2. Like, game 2, he really fought back, but game 1 and 3 weren't particularly that close, so we'll see. But I think Mez can pull this out. Last time was any indication. Last up, we have the 8th iteration of Tabs' team. He's made a billion trades, and versus Sal, who his newest members like Nia Lego, who he's had for like 3 weeks now. This is actually a super bad matchup for Sal. The dual priority and Mach Punch and Ice Shard do numbers on Sal's team. Literally, the only thing he has to stop Breloom and Weavile is Tauros, which a knockoff on its potential leftovers or something could be pretty big. And again, you have a Dracovish and a Fluttermane to help take out the Tauros, which is pretty big. Melmetal is a pretty big issue, but Breloom can get off some big damage. Most likely going to be Terra Flying again, which Tab saw last time was the Acid Armor reset, so he now knows that's a potential bring. I mean, honestly, I think this is probably Sal's worst matchup he probably faces, just team matchup-wise. I mean, there's just a lot of damage on Tabs' team. Like, Tabs' team is essentially just like hyper offense at this point, and Sal's like more balanced team doesn't take it that well. Like, his walls, while they're super bulky, Breloom and Weavile can really do it, and even like Toxtricity is a decent bring here. Just like pressure Florges out a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's definitely a tough matchup for Sal. I mean, matchup-wise, I'd give it to Tabs, but just based on play this season, I'd give it to Sal. I mean, I'll give it to Sal 1-2. I mean, realistically, this might be a 2-0 for Sal, but matchup-wise, like, this is super good for Tabs. And now that he actually is the Breloom, we can see that the mascot can help turn his season around a bit. But, yeah, these are all my predictions. Match of the week. I'll probably give it to JC and Noah. And if it's not that, I would give it to Tanner and Biff. I think this is going to surprise people by how close this game will be. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. But yeah, that's my predictions. And, I mean, I guess for all the trades that happened recently, I don't want to spend too much time on it. Yeah, we'll see. I'll go through the trades and basically just give my opinions of sorts. So yeah, let's go through them. So Chris was the first one on the 9th. So let's go to Chris. So Chris traded Low Kicks for Honchkrow, Ludi for Pincurchin, Thunderous for Zarude, and then he later traded Entei for Salazzle, and then he used his 40 extra bonus points to change his Terra Ghost to Terra Electric on Spectrier. So I go through them one by one. Honchkrow for Low Kicks is a terrible trade. Low Kicks is much better than Honchkrow. Ludicolo for Pincurchin, it's like whatever. I think that trade is like whatever. I think Pincurchin is a little bit more utility than Ludi, so like that's kind of like 50-50, but I think it's a little bit better to have Pincurchin, even though like his team doesn't really use electric terrain, but now it does because of Spectre. Thunderous for Zarude is another one where it's like 50-50. I think Thunderous is doing good. Having the Prankster Para for any potential Scarf or someone outspeed low punny Spectre is pretty big. Losing that is going to be pretty big. But Zarude, we saw it Season 2 with Mnaz. This is just a super solid Mon. That bug weakness is a little exploitable, but he's got a Weezing and a Klefki to come in to eat those hits. I think he'll be fine. And changing Terra Ghost to Terra Electric. He brought Terra Ghost like 2 games, one of them being my game, and like it didn't do anything. Like, I get wanting to get rid of Ghost, issue being fighting is just so good that, like, how often are you bringing electric? I mean, now that you have electric terrain, I feel like he's going to feel pressured and prepped to bring it just because he has a Mon literally there just to make Spectre a demon. I mean, Chris said he didn't really care. Obviously, he said he didn't care. He just wanted to have fun with it. And, like, I get that. Like, obviously, that's the whole point of this, is to have fun with it. But, I mean, if we're talking, like, objectively, I think his team got worse. I mean, dropping Entei for Salazzle is a crazy trade. But I guess it's fine, because he wasn't ever clicking Sacred Fire anyway, for whatever reason. He just running Flare Blitz on Entei. Incredible. But yeah, I mean, losing Entei and low kicks is just troll, in my opinion. I don't agree with those trades at all. The other ones, I think they're fine. Yeah, I think overall Chris's team got, like, slightly worse, but we will see how it fares. We'll see how it fares. I mean, he's been having a decent season so far, 4-3. So if he can just keep it up, I mean, he's making playoffs, so I like that. Preston trading Kartana for Mega Absol. I mean, he wasn't using Kartana that often, so, like, it makes sense. Like, if you're not using it, get rid of it. He got Mega Absol, which is good, because I think it's going to be better for him in the long term. And also, he gets 40 bonus points because it's Tier 2 Mega, which means he can upgrade that Sco villain to a Tier 3, maybe? I don't even know. I think Sco villain's Tier 4, so he can upgrade that. He can upgrade Ninjask if he wants to. Preston, please get rid of Sco villain or Ninjask. I'm begging you. Those two are terrible. Typhlosion in the Sun is enough with Sandy. So yeah, I think Preston is making some good trades. Again, if he trades a Ninjask and Sco villain, I think he will be in a much, much better spot. But we will see. He's been playing pretty good. There's a lot of slander on his game with B. And obviously, like, it's funny. Like, he's like, oh, I didn't know my team, like, 6-0'd, or I didn't know Typhlosion, like, 6-0'd B's team. And it's like, I get why Tanner was being so harsh on him. Or just, like, clowning him a bit. Because it's like, how do you not see that? But, I mean, Preston's been doing Preston. I mean, Blissey and Toxapex have been rolling teams. Like, they are hard carrying his season. People just cannot kill the Blissey-Pex combo. And if you're not killing it, I mean, you know what I mean? Having a Sandy Shocks in the Sun with screens with Typhlosion, now adding Mega Absol for some more damage, I mean, I think Preston, again, if he trades these two fuckers away, I think his team becomes very scary. So, we will see. Probably not making playoffs, but I think if he, again, makes these two trades, especially with the bonus points he gets from Absol now, I think he can definitely be a playoff. Gatekeep some people out of playoffs with some wins. Tabs, he made a fuck ton of trades. Where is he? Traded Titanol for Turtonator, Rose Raid for Breloom, Hitmontop for Toxtricity, Incineroar for Masquerain, Orbeetle for Weird Ear, and Torn for Weavile. So let's go one at a time, like we did for Chris. Titanol for Turtonator. Terrible trade. I mean, Turtonator, dogshit mon, gives you a rapid spinner, and I guess if the opponent is asleep at the keyboard, you can get a funny kill with Shell Trap. But other than that, Turtonator is kind of useless. Rose Raid for Breloom. As much as I love Rose Raid, Breloom is better. Having Spore on the team is big. Opens the door up for Dracovish and Fluttermane a lot. Priority Mach Punch, like Breloom, just the GOAT. It's about fucking time. Tabs got it. This thing's crazy. Right? Breloom for Rose Raid, this is a very, very good trade. I think this will add a lot to his team. Hitmontop for Toxtricity. I mean, Hitmontop in Tier 3 is kind of like a joke. I don't I mean, it's the only mon I've ever had on my team twice. I'm a very big Hitmontop enthusiast, but in tier 3, that's very expensive. Toxtricity, we saw Nick have it last season, did pretty well. So, in a coach that's more capable, I'm interested to see, but I don't know how you ever fit this in prep-wise. We'll see, I guess. I think this is kind of like whatever. I don't really care. Incineroar for Masquerain. I think Tabs actually used Masquerain pretty well last season, so... And he preserves his webs, even though he dropped Orbeetle, so this is like... Tabs is going to have webs on his team no matter what. Orbeetle for Weirdeer. I think this is a very, very good trade. Weirdeer is super good. Psyshield Bash plus Intimidate is insane. He's a super good physical wall now, alongside Steelix in case he can't bring Steelix. Gives him a Shadow Ball switch in for Flutter Mane, as well as Weavile, which not really a switch in, but a check for Ghost. Very good, very good. And then Torn for Weavile. This is another one where it's like, as much as I love Torn, Weavile is insane. Especially in that deck where it has all of its moves. Weavile is a crazy, crazy mon. Issue with Tabs' team now is he is very frail. Because realistically, he's probably going to be bringing Weavile, Brainloom, Fluttermane, Dracovish, which is 4 hitters. Like, his last 2 mons are always going to be like Gigalith, Steelix, and a Weirdeer, and then like if he needs webs, Masquerain. Because again, Toxtricity and Turtonator, that's, I don't know how you fit those in prep, but I think in general Tabs' team got scarier. Better, we will see, but his team got a lot scarier. That is for sure. Mnaz immediately picked up my Goat Roserade and dropped Bulu. I mean, like, synergistically, Bulu was crazy for the grassy terrain. Issue being, he was never bringing it, and I guess it just wasn't working for him. He just couldn't find a reason to bring it. So giving him Roserade, just great all-around mon, can do a lot of things. Gives him another Spike and Toxic Spike user, because Scolipede was never doing that, so he has access to hazards, more hazards than rocks now, which is very big. And I think Roserade will do really good. I mean, even on Tabs' team where he wasn't having the greatest season, Roserade was standing out as like one of the better mons on his team, so love that. Love that for the boy. I love that for my Queen Roserade, man. The GOAT. My hard carry last season for sure. Woo dropping Doug Trio for Shuckle. You know, it's one of those things. You know, Woo gonna be doing Woo things, and he has access to webs now, which is fun. So, yeah, this is just a fun trade. I mean, how often will we be bringing Shuckle? I have no idea, but I think Shuckle is definitely just funny. I mean, I'm the only other coach that's ever drafted Shuckle, but I never brought it to a game. I had it for like 2 or 3 weeks season 2, and then I dropped it. So we'll see if Woo can actually bring it. Be the first person to actually use Shuckle in Big Juice, but technically I was the first to get it. Never used it, but yeah. We like the Shuckle. Shuckle's a funny mon. Next up, we have Noah, who made a couple trades as well. Dropped Annihilate. This is a crazy thing to say. Galvantula, Salazzle, and Jumpluff. And he got Sneasler, Magnezone, Arcanine, and Gourgeist. I think in general, losing Annihilate is a huge, huge deal. Annihilate just forces your opponent to play in such a different way that they're not used to playing. Because usually you can spam low damage moves like U-turn or Volt Switch to just get initiative. You cannot do that against Annihilate. Because in the game like he played against me, giving it free Rage Fist boost is just a terrible idea. So yeah, I mean, losing Apis can be big. However, gaining Sneasler makes prep so much easier because you always know someone that has to have a mon with Covert Cloak. Like, 1 out of 6 items every week, you know that something has Covert Cloak. Losing Galvantula is big because he no longer has webs, but Magnezone is pretty crazy for his team. Because what's it called? Because this Latias, I muted my mic. So Magnezone is really big for Noah's team because his team does not like steel types. Magnezone and Frigoraph can't really hit them, and Glacier doesn't like them. And Aerodactyl can deal with them if they're not flying or levitating with Earthquake, but he's not the biggest fan of them either. So having something that can trap in opposing steel types is very massive for Noah. I think that's super good. And again, it makes prep so much easier because you know, looking at the enemy team, if there's a steel type that they have to bring to counter the dual psychics he has, you know that they have to have Shed Tail. Because if they don't, they're just going to get fucking destroyed by Magnezone. So, in prep, he basically knows 2 items for free every week in Covert Cloak and Shed Shell, which is big. It's just super big. Losing Salazzle but gaining Arcanine is, again, really big. Arcanine, we saw it last season with Croc. Arcanine is just a super, super reliable mon. Offensive, defensive, like... Arcanine is just a super good mon. And Jumpluff for Gourgeist, I mean, he's getting the Croc duo here, the Gourgeist Arcanine, but Gourgeist, again, Jumpluff, enough said, no words, but Gourgeist is fun and good, because you get all forms, so you can fuck around with your speed tiers and your bulk a bit. And it makes prep just harder for opponents, because if Gourgeist is coming, you have to guess which one's coming. Granted, most of the time it's either going to be the small or the super, but 2 other forms still have their place at times. So, I think in general, Noah's team is just better now. Even, like, again, losing Ape is such a big deal, but I think his team is just better now. I think his team is more well-rounded, and I think his team is very scary. Personally, if I was Chris, I'd be very scared of that playoff spot because Noah is 1 game behind Chris. He's 3-4 and Chris is 4-3, but they're both at a -3 differential. So as long as Noah can just keep up in the differential race, but just get 1 more win or even tie Chris, but be up in diff, Noah can very easily take Chris's spot. And based on my thoughts earlier with Chris's team, and how I think it got slightly worse, and how Noah's team, I think, got massively bumped. I think Chris is in a real fear of being knocked out of playoffs for the first time ever. He's always made playoffs in Big Juice, so... Will Noah be able to knock him out? I don't know, but I think Noah can give him some real competition now. And I don't believe they played in the first half of the season. I'll double check really quickly. But I don't believe they did. Okay, I think they did. I was wrong. They did. Chris 2-0'd him. Alright, never mind then. So, alright, they already played, so they don't have to worry about like a game between them deciding playoffs. But I mean, if Noah can just keep up and just get 1 more win, or even just tie, if he can just tie win-loss but just have slightly better differential, which he very much can, Noah's in a real spot to take Chris's spot, which is a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. Chris traded Entei for Salazzle, which we already talked about. And then last night, to put the cherry on top, Josh dropped Hydreigon for Mandibuzz. I think this is fine because Hydreigon, like he said it, and I've been like backing him, saying like it was a very good fit defensively for his team. But using Hydreigon defensively is like kind of weird. So like I can see him going for the defensive mon here in Mandibuzz. He said last night that he's also debating with Galarian Moltres. It's tough because I think Galarian Moltres is actually would have been better, just because you like Galarian Moltres is like Manaphy for Chase, where like you don't run special attack investment, you just run like bulky with some speed. and you just sweep because you have Berserker to boost your special attack. You just run like a bulky set with like Rest, Nasty Plot, Hurricane, and Fiery Wrath. Mandibuzz is interesting because New had it last season, and while New didn't have a good season, Mandibuzz was doing very good for him. Mandibuzz is just a very hard mon to kill. And I think with Josh's team, it's kind of like B's team now, where like a lot of the offensive pressure is backed onto Dragapult, but he also has a Tusk to back that up. So rather than B's team just being all the load on Urshifu, Josh at least can spread it around between the two. Yeah, Josh's team is very much so like B's in a sense, where it's like you have all these walls that can just like chip the team down, and then you have Tusk and Pult in the back to clean up in the late. So I think Josh has been having a pretty good season so far. I think this trade will probably be very annoying for his opponents because Mandibuzz is just an annoying fucking mon to deal with. So yeah, we'll see how this all works out, but I think I don't think his team got worse. I think this is like a shift where it's like you lose a little bit of power but you gain a lot more bulk and utility. So yeah, those are all my thoughts on the trades. Those are my predictions. This is a little bit of a long video, but yeah, it'd be like that around the playoff time in midseason. So we'll try to get that midseason video out again. I'll probably do it sometime this weekend, and I'm gonna get on out of here. I'll see y'all laters.